Ever feel a little lost at those holiday parties? Like you're missing out on the fun,
You're not alone.
especially when it comes to, chatting in English. Seeing everyone else just laughing and sharing stories.
Making connections, it's tough.
Yeah, tough. And you just wish you could, join in more. But guess what? You totally can.
Absolutely.
Welcome to Podcast Listen and Learn English. This is English with Diana. I'm your host, George.
And I'm Diana.
And we're here to help you take all those topics, all those things you want to really master,
Yeah,
and, turn them into like a deep dive of knowledge.
exactly. A deep dive.
So you walk away feeling like you can take on the world.
You got this.
You got this.
Mhm.
And today, we're tackling holiday party conversations.
Oh, yeah.
We've gone through a ton of material to get ready for this.
You did our homework.
So think of this as like your secret weapon to navigate those, sometimes tricky holiday gatherings
Yeah.
with ease and confidence. Now, to help us break it all down,
Unpack it all.
we have the amazing Diana, our expert in, well, everything English conversation.
Oh, thank you.
Diana, always a pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited about this one. Holiday parties. They're kind of their own little world when it comes to talking to people.
Yeah.
And I think we've got some really great stuff we can share to help people, really shine.
Absolutely. So first things first, right? Let's set the stage. What makes these holiday party conversations so different from, say, just chatting with a colleague at work or a neighbor you bump into at the store?
Well, it's the whole vibe, right? It's festive. People are in a good mood celebrating. And there's this feeling in the air like we're all connected. We're all in this together.
It's true.
So because of all that, the conversations are a little lighter, a little more informal,
Yeah.
It's okay to relax. You don't have to stress about perfect grammar or using all those fancy words.
Yeah.
It's more about, just connecting with people on a human level
Yeah.
and enjoying the holidays.
I love that. And I think it's really reassuring for people who maybe feel a little nervous about speaking English in, a social setting.
It can be scary.
Right. It's not about perfection. It's about being present, being in the moment. But let's be honest, there are still those times when you're at a party.
Oh, yeah.
You got your drink, you're kind of standing there,
Right.
and you're not sure how to start a conversation or what to talk about.
For sure.
What are some tips to help our listeners handle those situations?
Okay, so let's start with the basics. Having a few go-to phrases
Okay.
for greetings and introductions, those can really make you feel more confident. So instead of just saying, hi, try something like, happy holidays.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying the party? Or, it's so nice to see you here. Do you know anyone else at the party?
I love those. They're so warm
Yeah.
and welcoming, and they really open the door for a conversation to start.
Yeah, they get the ball rolling.
They do. I especially like that second one, because it sort of subtly acknowledges that maybe the person's feeling a little out of place.
Yeah.
And you're offering a way to connect with them, to make them feel more comfortable.
Exactly. And if you're meeting someone for the first time, don't be shy. Just introduce yourself. You can say, hi, I'm your name. I don't think we've met. It's simple, it's straightforward, and it takes the pressure off the other person to, start the introduction.
It's true.
Yeah.
These are great starting points. And listeners, don't forget, jot these phrases down. Or even practice saying them out loud a few times.
Yeah.
The more you're familiar with them, the more natural they'll feel when you're actually at a party.
For sure.
Speaking of feeling natural, how about compliments?
Yeah.
Are those a good icebreaker for holiday parties?
Oh, absolutely. Compliments are great. They're a really nice way to start a conversation and make someone feel good. You could comment on the food
Yeah.
or the decorations,
Yeah.
or the music. Even like instead of just saying the food's good, try this dip is amazing. Do you know what's in it? Or I love this music. It's really getting me in the holiday spirit. Do you have a favorite holiday song?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So you're adding a question at the end,
Right.
and that turns your compliment into a conversation starter.
I love that. It's like you're taking those simple observations
Yeah.
and turning them into a way to connect with someone.
Right.
It's so easy to just make a statement and then let it fizzle out.
It happens all the time.
But by adding a question, you're inviting the other person to share their thoughts
Yeah.
and their experiences.
Exactly. And don't forget about the host. A genuine compliment about the party itself can go a long way.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
So you could say to the host, you've done such a wonderful job decorating. Everything looks so festive. Or, this is a lovely gathering. Thank you so much for having me. People really appreciate when you notice the effort they've put in. And it's just a nice way to show that you appreciate it.
Those are all fantastic points. Now, before we get into more, deeper conversation starters, and topics. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Podcast Listen and Learn English and English with Diana. For more tips and strategies to help you improve your English, we put a lot of work into making these deep dives, and we want to make sure they reach as many people as possible.
We do.
So we'll be right back after a short break with even more ways to make your holiday conversations sparkle.
Yes, we will. Welcome back to Podcast Listen and Learn English and English with Diana, your one-stop shop for everything English conversation.
And we're diving deep into the world of holiday party conversations.
Yeah, we are.
Sometimes they can be a little tricky to navigate, right?
They can be, for sure.
Before the break, we were talking all about those important first impressions. Greetings, introductions. Those all important compliments.
Gotta make people feel good.
Right. Now let's talk about keeping that conversation going. Diana, how can we avoid those awkward silences? What are some strategies to make those conversations, really engaging?
Well, it's all about having some conversation starters ready to go, Think of them like little springboards. They get things started.
Okay, got that.
The goal is to, really get a good back and forth going, not just fire off a question and get a one-word answer.
That makes sense. So what are some of your favorite springboards, especially for holiday parties?
Oh, well, you can never go wrong with holiday-themed icebreakers. Ask things like, what's your favorite holiday tradition? Or, do you have any fun plans for this year?
Yeah, those are classics.
Right. Or, if you want to add a little humor, you could even ask, what's the most outrageous holiday gift you've ever received?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right. So these questions are light, they're fun, and they're, perfect for the holidays. And they almost always get people talking.
I think those work so well because they tap into people's memories, their personal experiences.
Exactly. People love to share their stories. And another great strategy is to just comment on your surroundings.
Oh, yeah.
Like you could say, I love the decorations. They're so festive. Or if you're at a potluck, you could try, everything looks delicious. Have you tried the name of dish? It looks amazing.
Oh, that's good. Food is always a safe bet.
It is, especially during the holidays.
Right. And it can lead to other topics like, favorite recipes or family traditions.
Exactly. Just be observant. Find something positive to comment on. And remember, add a question. Keep the conversation flowing.
Okay, so we've got holiday-themed icebreakers. We've got commenting on our surroundings. What else? What else should we have in our conversational toolkit?
Open-ended questions. Those are your secret weapon.
Ooh, secret weapon.
Yeah, because open-ended questions, they encourage people to share more than just yes or no.
Right. Hear them talking.
Exactly. So instead of asking, do you like Christmas music? What's your favorite holiday song and why? Or instead of, are you having a good time? Try, what's been the highlight of your evening so far?
I like that. It really gets people to, share their perspective or tell a story.
Exactly. And it takes the pressure off you to always come up with the perfect topic.
You're giving them a chance to shine. So speaking of shining, let's talk about some specific topics that work well for, holiday party small talks. What are some of your go-to themes, Diana?
Well, holiday traditions are always a winner. People love talking about their family customs or their favorite recipes or even memorable holiday experiences.
That's so true. And it's amazing how different holiday traditions can be, even in the same country.
It really is. And if you're looking for something a little lighter, you can always talk about food and drinks.
Of course.
Everyone loves talking about what they're eating and drinking, especially at a party, right? So you could ask, what's your favorite holiday treat? Or what's your go-to holiday cocktail?
Ooh, those are good.
Yeah.
And it's a good opportunity to practice some vocabulary, about food and drinks.
Exactly, especially for those who are still learning English. And then for those who are feeling a bit more adventurous, there's always travel.
Oh, yeah. Travel plans.
You could ask, are you traveling anywhere for the holidays? Or what's your dream holiday destination?
I like those. And, it's a great way to connect with people who love to travel just like you. Or maybe learn about some new places you want to visit.
Exactly.
These are all such great topics. And before we go any further, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for Podcast Listen and Learn English and English with Diana, so you don't miss any of our future deep dives. We've got so much more to share.
We do. So let's imagine our listeners are at a party. They're feeling confident. They're striking up conversations. But what happens when they want to join a conversation that's already happening?
Oh, yeah, that can be a little intimidating.
It can. It's like, how do you jump into a conversation that's already in full swing?
Right, like trying to hop on a moving train. What are some tips for, you know, smoothly joining a group conversation without feeling like you're interrupting? Or, like you're derailing the whole thing?
It's all about timing and observation. So first and foremost, listen. Take a minute to, understand what they're talking about and the flow of the conversation.
Yeah, that's important.
Right. It shows respect for the groove
Mm,
and it makes sure you're not, suddenly changing the topic.
that's true. You want to be mindful of that dynamic.
Right. So once you've kind of got a feel for the conversation, look for a natural pause. Or maybe someone makes eye contact with you.
Oh, yeah, that's your cue.
Exactly. And then you can use a phrase like, mind if I join in? Or I couldn't help it over here, just something to smoothly join the group.
I like those. They're polite, but you're still showing that you're interested.
Right. And once you're in, the key is to, really contribute something to the conversation. Share your thoughts, ask a good question, or maybe build on something someone else has said. But try not to, take over the conversation or interrupt people.
Right, be a good listener.
Exactly. It's about adding value to the conversation, not just talking for the sake of talking.
Right. It's finding that balance between being engaged and being respectful of everyone else.
Exactly. And remember, even if you don't have a lot to say, just listening is important.
Yeah.
Nodding, making eye contact, saying things like, that's interesting, or I agree.
Yeah.
All those little things show that you're paying attention.
Those are great tips for joining a group conversation. But what about ending them? It can be a little awkward figuring out how to, politely excuse yourself
Yeah.
without seeming rude.
It can. It's something a lot of people learning English have trouble with. So the key is to express gratitude, give a brief explanation, and end on a positive note. You could say something like, it was so nice chatting with you, but I'm going to grab another drink. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Yeah.
Or, I promised myself I'd try all the desserts, so I'm heading over to the dessert table. It was great talking to you.
Those are perfect. They're polite, they're sincere, and they give you a reason to, move on without it being awkward.
Exactly. And if you want to keep talking later, you can always add, let's catch up again later tonight, or I'd love to hear more about topics sometime.
Oh, yeah, those are good additions. They leave that door open. And listeners, don't forget to share your own favorite conversation starters or any challenges you face with, holiday party small talk. Down in the comments below, we love hearing from you. Now, before we move on to some cultural considerations, which are really important, let's take a quick break for a word from our sponsors.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Podcast Listen and Learn English and English with Diana. I'm your host, George. Hopefully you're taking notes, folks, because this deep dive is jam-packed with tips.
We're giving you the ultimate guide to conquering those holiday conversations.
Absolutely. So before the break, we talked about, starting conversations, keeping them flowing, joining group chats, even making those graceful exits.
It's all part of the art of conversation.
It is. But there's one more crucial element we need to cover.
Oh, yeah. This one's big.
Cultural awareness.
So important, especially during the holidays.
Extreme.
All those different traditions, different customs, what's considered polite in one culture might be totally different in another.
It's true. So how can our listeners be more aware of these differences, and make sure they're respecting everyone at the party?
Well, I think the best thing is to just be observant and don't make assumptions.
Okay.
So, pay attention to how other people are interacting. And if you're not sure about something, just ask.
It's true. Most people are happy to share their customs, their traditions.
Right. And it's a great way to learn and show respect.
It's always better to ask than to, accidentally offend someone.
Yeah.
Are there any specific things our listeners should keep in mind?
Well, for starters, be aware of personal space. Some cultures are more comfortable with physical touch than others.
That's a good point.
So just pay attention to body language. And if you're not sure, it's better to err on the side of caution.
That's good advice. What about topics of conversation? Are there any taboo topics, things that are off limits in certain cultures?
Oh, definitely. For example, in some cultures, it's considered rude to ask about someone's salary
Oh, yeah, it's true.
or their relationship status. So it's always a good idea to stick to lighter topics like hobbies, interests, travel plans, things like that.
Makes sense. What about gift giving? Are there any cultural differences there we should be aware of?
Oh, for sure. In some cultures, it's customary to open gifts right away when you receive them. But in others, it's considered more polite to wait and open them later in private. So again, if you're not sure, just ask the host or someone who's familiar with the customs.
These are all such great tips, Diana. It's really clear that, cultural awareness is a big part of successful communication, especially during the holidays. And remember, listeners, if you're ever unsure about something, just ask. Most people are happy to share. It's a great way to learn, and it shows respect.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, the most important thing is to just be yourself, relax, and have fun.
That's right. Don't get so caught up in all the details that you forget to enjoy the party. Holiday parties are about connecting with people, sharing some laughs, spreading some cheer, celebrating.
And remember, even if you make a mistake, it's okay. Everyone does. It's part of learning. The important thing is to just keep practicing and pushing yourself out of your comfort zone.
Well said. We're almost out of time for this deep dive. But before we wrap up, what's one final thought you want to leave our listeners with?
I'd say think about what makes you a great conversation partner. Are you a good listener? Do you ask interesting questions? Maybe you're a natural storyteller. Whatever your strengths are, embrace them. Let them shine.
That's such great advice. We all have something unique to bring to a conversation, and that's what makes those conversations fun and memorable. So listeners, as we head into the holiday season, remember to relax, be yourself, and enjoy those conversations. And don't forget to share your favorite conversation starters in the comments below, or any other tips you have. We love learning from you too.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive, please like this episode and subscribe to Podcast Listen and Learn English and English with Diana for more tips and strategies to help you master English conversation.
We release new episodes every week, so hit that notification bell so you don't miss out.
We're always exploring new topics, and we love hearing from you. So if there's anything you'd like us to cover in a future episode, let us know down in the comments below.
From all of us here at Podcast Listen and Learn English with Diana, we wish you happy holidays and a fantastic new year filled with joy, laughter, and, of course, amazing conversations.
See you in the next episode.